Good evening and welcome to another live news update and special interview session on Thai PBS World as we are still following the situation on the border conflicts between Thailand and Cambodia. I'm Clare Patchimanon. Just like yesterday, the news summary will be at the end of the show and we are prioritizing the interview first. Also, please do let us know where you are watching from and please keep the comments polite. Also send us questions if you have any เป็นภาษาไทยก็ได้นะคะรายการนี้จริงๆเน้นภาษาอังกฤษเป็นหลักให้ชาวต่างชาติได้ติดตามสถานการณ์ไทยนะคุณผู้ชมแต่ว่าภาษาไทยก็ปนๆกันได้นิดหน่อยนะคะคอมเมนต์เข้ามาค่ะถ้าเกิดไม่ถนัดพิมพ์ภาษาอังกฤษนะคะ Now our guest this evening is Dr. Panitan Wattanayagorn, a very well-known Thai political scientist who has held various advisory and executive positions in many administrations. He has also published extensively on international and Thai politics, so I'm very honored to have him on the show today. Now let's welcome Dr. Panitan onto the live stream. Good evening, ค่ะอาจารย์
ครับ Good evening คุณแคลร์ครับสวัสดีครับ
Well, thank you so much for your time today because I know it's Sunday evening. It's quite something, but we are following a very important situation at the moment. So now let's start with Malaysia, because obviously the country has stepped in as a mediator. So according to Malaysia's Foreign Minister Muhammad Asan, the Thai and Cambodian PMs will meet in KL tomorrow. What is your take on this? Is Malaysia, as this year's ASEAN chair, fit for the role? And what are the limitations or challenges, if any?
Well, of course, the meditating the conflict is not easy. The stake is quite high, particularly for Malaysia at this time, simply because never before members of ASEAN engage in a much bigger confrontation or conflict. I think the reputation of ASEAN is at stake. The reputation of share, the current share, even is more at stake because, of course, Malaysia wants to play a bigger role in the international world. I think that it's very important for Malaysia to be successful. But of course, Kun Clare, I think we know quite well this is not the first time ASEAN chair is in this position. In 2011, at that time, Indonesia also stepped in to trying to meditating between Thailand and Cambodia during the April confrontation. And even before that, 2008, Singapore as a chair also stepped in when conflicts between Thailand and Cambodia erupted. So this is not new, but perhaps the stake is much higher. I think you know very well that the US is also stepping in. President Trump is also offering, to connect the two nations. On top of that, he mentioned that this is quite important for the US also because both countries, Cambodia and Thailand, are on the process, in the deep process actually, of negotiating on the tariff with the US. So we expect a better outcome actually from Malaysia as a share. I think the Thais also want to end this conflict and they also want to bring back the bilateral mechanism to work with Cambodia.
I see. Well, talking about the US, you mentioned Trump briefly. He has this strategy of linking tariff negotiations to an armed conflict. Is it practical for the case of Thailand and Cambodia?
Well, not really for Thailand and Cambodia because it's complicates the situation which is already complicated and complex. But of course, it's understandable that the US wants to play this role, particularly President Trump I think President Trump is trying to forecast a better, a bigger, perhaps a new role of a peacemaker. I think this is very much in the campaign since the beginning. This is very much the efforts, which is not that successful yet, trying to solve the conflict in Europe between Ukraine and Russia, and of course in the Middle East between Israel, and Iran and other groups. So I think this is another important task for President Trump to perhaps score some points, on the world's conflict, and also I think quite interestingly, President Trump also is a very skillful negotiator, unlike other presidents in the U.S. history. I think he wants to be in a position to better leverage, to have a better leverage, in any negotiations by stepping in and demanding that the trade issues, the tariff issues are linked, with the stability, peace, and international, conflict issues. I think he may have a better leverage than negotiating on the tariff, front alone. Yes.
Yeah, but just like you mentioned, we all remember that President Trump actually said that during his campaign and on the first day that he became president as well, that he would end the war between Russia and Ukraine on the first day. But it's been months now. Nothing has progressed according to plan for Trump. So yeah, it remains to be seen whether or not Thailand and Cambodia can add to his credit. If I think obviously he would take credit if there is a ceasefire at the moment, because Trump is, he wants to play a role in bringing peace to the world, doesn't he?
Yes, indeed. I think, but this intervention, perhaps, if we can call it, from the U.S., is also opening up a very interesting channel for Thailand to connect, and of course for Cambodia to connect directly with the White House, with the president himself. I think it's very difficult at this time for any country to connect with him directly. I think if Thailand take this opportunity, to connect with him and perhaps add into this process. For example, the UN Security Council had recently a meeting on this issue, just a day or two ago. It is quite disappointed actually that the UNSC didn't have any positions or decisions on this, despite the very clear evidence from the Thai side on the attacks on civilian innocent lives in the Thai territories. I think the Thai public expects some kind of actions like in 2011 on this issue, but so far there's no real issues or decisions made publicly. U.S. could perhaps increase more role in the UNSC also. I think this is another perhaps issue that the Thai negotiation team, the Thai security team could talk to the U.S. team.
Obviously, I think at the UN, both sides have been lobbying very hard in trying to push for a resolution. But apparently, after both the permanent representatives of Thailand and Cambodia met at the UN emergency meeting of the Security Council, no resolutions, nothing solid on the issue. In your opinion, this is not good enough for Thailand, is it?
No, not at all. Because we expect more, from the international body like the UNSC, United Nations in general. I think it is quite known already, the casualties on the Thai side unprovoked, also indiscriminately, and of course lives of many civilians lost unnecessary. And of course, giving a new technology and an open, social issues and open areas, it is very difficult not to see this aggression from Cambodia. I think we expect at least maybe some kind of fact-fighting, at least some kind of maybe a team to monitor the situation. And of course, perhaps the UNSC could also schedule a new meeting and look deeper into this issue. But in the meantime, of course, negotiation is well underway. In Malaysia, share of ASEAN again for the third time in the last decade or two will be in the center, of the negotiation between Thailand and Cambodia. What Thailand wants is to resume talks with Cambodia on the conditions that they will come back based on the existing bilateral mechanisms, and also a meeting between the two militaries are also pending. The meeting of the militaries are very important. Thailand suggested this weeks ago before the fighting erupted. It's very important to engage in discussions about rules of engagement, the de-escalation measures, and also in particular in terms of the mobilization and building up forces on Cambodian side, on Thai side. Cambodia refused to have a meeting, and now conflict erupted. Therefore, we need to go back to that, RBC, Regional Border Committee meeting, to make sure that the two militaries can talk directly to plan the ceasefire. I think this is very, very important and very technical one. Another issue also is coming up in Malaysia. Once the ceasefire is adopted, it is quite challenging if the ceasefire is not implemented, very quick, on time, and in an honest way. That means we may have to have observers to monitor the ceasefire agreement. This is not yet raised publicly, but of course Malaysia can offer itself, for this role, or maybe a combination of different ASEAN countries, of previous chair, current chair, and the future chair, also the troika type of mechanism can also be applied here. So a lot to talk about it before the real implementation of the ceasefire. Hopefully, during the talks, there will be de-escalation, there will be less conflict, there will be less loss of lives.
From your perspective, following the developments in the border area since 2011 and even before that, this fighting actually started around 4 provinces at the border between Thailand and Cambodia. Now it spreads down to Trat as well in that area. So does it make a ceasefire harder to implement, given that the long strip of the border area is now included?
Of course. It's not only the conflict expanded along the 800 kilometers between Thailand and Cambodia. It's also spread to the two societies. The citizens are also engaged in different activities, accusations, back and forth, fake news, for example, and a lot more online on cyberspace. So the ceasefire is not only on the ground along the 800 kilometers. It's also must be looked at in terms of cyberspace. So that's another a challenge. Another Another, again, new challenge is that both countries have more weapons, on the ground compared to 2011. But I think it's very clear that major countries are also the sources of new and higher technology weaponry. Particularly on the Cambodian side, you saw the multiple rocket launchers. You see maybe a higher new advanced anti-missiles, air defense systems, for example. But of course, these are also complicate the ceasefire in real terms.
What about the feelings of the people from both sides? Now that you have mentioned cyberspace, obviously we talked about this on the program yesterday as well, where the battlefront is not only at the border, but now is on cyberspace, and it plays a lot into the feeling of the people from both sides. Do you think the effects will be long lasting, and how do we mend it? Because at the moment there's a lot of exchanges, insults traded online between the people of the two countries.
Well, I'm afraid so, but of course we may have to work on this issue also. But there is no real, authority or agencies responsible on this issue. So this is going to be perhaps the most challenging issue in the long term. Governments come, governments go. Administrators and leaders comes and go at a certain time, and of course conflicts and wars from time to time, and most of the time actually ends in negotiation table. But there is no real mechanism to perhaps handle the deep down feelings among the two peoples, that are very much affected. The feelings of nationalism, the feelings of aggression, the feeling of loss of relatives and loved ones. And this is not to mention those families who have lost their loved ones. Those lives cannot be returned. So there will no real anything that you can do to elevate that. But of course, I think we need to look at that also, that perhaps a better communication, perhaps a better non-profit organization, new projects among the two countries can help lessen the feelings that are now erupting at this time. So I think this is also to be discussed in the leader circle and in the societies in general.
Final question, sir. You mentioned an approach where Thailand needs to package our negotiations. This is in terms of the US, because obviously trade tariffs is now playing a role as well as security. Can you please tell us more about it, like in terms of what kind of shape that it should take in order to for the Thai team to consider, or what do they have to consider?
Well, I think number one, the question have to be answered or settled on what kind of mechanisms Thailand and Cambodia should return to. I think the multilateral mechanisms are not suitable. I think according to the Thai position, and in fact, in general, I think a better bilateral mechanism should be introduced. I think this is must be settled among involved parties, especially the countries that are stepping in, trying to meditating or trying to negotiating, among the two countries. They have to settle down on the principles of negotiation based on the bilateral mechanism. Also, secondly, ASEAN it's also at the center of this conflict. The stakes very high. Never before ASEAN members are engaging in this, as we mentioned about that. So ASEAN must also have a place in this negotiation. And I think the last two incidents in 2008 and 2011 are not quite impressive because it cannot prevent the current conflict. So ASEAN must come up with a much better preventive plans for the members of ASEAN not to engage in this kind of conflict again. And lastly, of course, we need to accommodate the roles of the superpowers, not only United States, China and others who also are quite involved in the relations of the countries, Cambodia and Thailand. So accommodating those major powers will be even more difficult as they are not in good terms. So I think there are a lot of challenges ahead for the Thai team, for the Cambodian team.
Right. So before you go, I would like to get your opinion on this. Julia Rosana, one of our viewers, said Thailand in general underestimate Cambodia. What's your view on that? Did we underestimate our neighbor?
I agree on many fronts. On the social media, on the communication, it's very clear that Cambodia is quite ahead of us. They communicate with international arena quite well and quite effectively. They are able to connect with different international organizations in a much more active way. The narrative set by Cambodia is quite different from Thailand and is also often reported by the international media. It means that Cambodia has been quite successful on that front. So that's one. Second, of course, the unity. Although we know there are oppositions in Cambodia, but unity in the government of Cambodia, I think is much better than in Thailand. Our administrators, our top leaders are in different problems with the court, constitutional court, with different agencies and with the military and other security agencies. So they're less coordinated, less coherent, less effective policies implemented on the Thai side. But other than that, I think we have more advantages in terms of military power, in terms of size of the economy, which will have a leverage on that. And of course, in general, the size of the population, which are also engaging on this issue. So there are differences in terms of advantages and disadvantages.
Right. Well, that was a very interesting discussion, Asan. I wish we had more time, but anyway, thank you so much for your insight this evening, Asan Panitan. Hopefully we'll have you back as a regular guest on the show sometime soon. Thank you so much and have a great weekend ค่ะอาจารย์ขอบคุณมากเลยค่ะ
ครับ Thank you very much for having me สวัสดีครับ
Thank you. That's great. And that was Dr. Panitan Wattanayagorn, a Thai political scientist. He's very well known for his publications and he's very active on social media as well. So please do follow him if you're interested in international politics. He also teaches at Chulalongkorn University. Now let's look at some updates of the situation before I address the comments. So there's still time to finish the comments. So in terms of numbers, according to the Thai Ministry of Public Health, there are 36 people injured, 13 deaths, and 19 hospitals have been affected by the fighting, where 11 hospitals had to be closed today. Then there's a press conference at the Ad Hoc Center for Thailand-Cambodia Border Affairs, where the deputy spokesperson, Rear Admiral Surasan Kongsirit, said in his daily press conference that Thailand agrees in principle with the proposal for a ceasefire. And this can, however, only proceed when Cambodia demonstrates sincerity and engages in detailed discussion on procedural steps. That's quote from him. And he also claims that there have also been instances where Cambodian forces using civilians as human shields during weapons deployment, which constitute a blatant violation of human rights and a clear breach of the Geneva Convention. So that's another quote from Rear Admiral Surasan Kongsiri from the Ad Hoc Center for Thailand-Cambodia Border Affairs. Now, fierce fighting have been going on for the fourth day today between Thailand and the Cambodian force. The Royal Thai Air Force sent 2 Gripen and 2 F-16 fighter jets to perform surgical strikes on Cambodian artillery and rockets installations today in Surin province. Also today, the Second Army region has issued warnings to people who are living in several northeastern provinces. They're warning against the threat of Cambodia's long-range rockets. The army said that Ubon Ratchathani, Surin, Srisaket, Buriram, and 2 districts in Yasothon, namely Mahachanachai and Kawang, as well as several districts of Mahasarakam and Nakhon Ratchasima, are within the range of the multiple rocket launching system. So Colonel Risha Suksuwanon, the Army deputy spokesperson, said, however, that the Army has air defense systems to cope with the rockets, and he told the people not to be overly concerned, but those are just warnings that he issued. So let's hope that the talks between Thailand and Cambodia goes well tomorrow in KL. Hopefully there will be a ceasefire so that the evacuees can go back home. There are currently over 130,000 of them on the Thai side at the moment who had to be evacuated. Now let's look at some comments before I end the live today. Okay, let's start from the beginning. Kun Vishian Ma says, good evening. สวัสดีค่ะ Mr. Mira says, ฟังไม่ออก means I can't understand. Well, anyway, even if you can't understand, thank you for joining the live. I hope you are interested in it. Let me see. Okay, some troll comments as well. It's interesting to see some trolls comments in the live. I believe I can fly asks, what will be the outcome in tomorrow meeting in Malaysia meeting between Thailand and Cambodia? At the moment, we don't know. We're hoping for a ceasefire and hopefully some kind of settlements between the two sides so that there can be plans of, renegotiating in terms of how the two countries can move forward. But that's an interesting question, and please do follow Thai PBS World because we'll obviously bring it to you as soon as we know. Garo says the situation is pretty bad at the border. Okay, are you in the conflict zone? Where are you watching from? Let us know. But please be safe. Thank you so much for joining the live as well. Toom Daily says Hun Sen is a war criminal. Okay, don't lie to the world, says Khmer Brave. I think you're watching from Cambodia. That's interesting. Okay, we have some long comments as well, talking about the bombs which fall on hospital. Okay, let me read this first before I put it up live. Okay, so Mini Preem gave us a very long comment, but I'm going to read just the first part of it. When the bomb falls on the hospital, it's not only the lives that are lost, but the humanity of the person who ordered it also is lost. Interesting comment. Yeah. Thank you for the comment. You made a lot of effort typing all that long paragraph. Thank you. Abyss says, the conflict's not good for both countries. Yeah, totally agree. Anyway, lots more comments, but yeah, thank you so much for joining Thai PBS World Live today. Please don't forget to follow us on social media pages if you haven't already done so. Look for Thai PBS World, the logo there. Just type Thai PBS World on your preferred platforms, and we're on all of them to follow the latest updates, not just about Thailand and Cambodia, but we do have business news, culture, lifestyle, regional news, anything about Thailand. Do follow us on social media, as well as check out the website thaipbsworld.com. Yeah, it's cool. Anyway, stay safe. Thank you so much for joining the live. Have a good evening. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.